We now cross live to our reporter Mulungelo Booi, who is in Marikana. Mulungelo, a very good morning to you once again. The more things change, the more things stay the same. Marikana residents there are saying that it's hard to pinpoint any drastic changes as essentially the struggle for economic emancipation continues.
That's right. In fact, people, when you move around the entire area, you can see how dire the living conditions for the people are. But also when you're speaking to some of the mine workers, they will tell you that, well, they have not received that 12,500 rand they were fighting for at that time, whereas others will say, well, we have received that amount, but now the struggle is to fight for everyone to be able to get that amount, that living wage, so that people are able to survive. Program Mpo is expected to start, it was expected in fact to start it around this time around, and I was looking at it and I see that the main speeches are expected to begin at around 11 or so, and of course people continue to trickle in for the commemoration event where they'll be remembering the 34 mine workers that were killed by police. People coming from various areas really, including Mpumalanga. Harry Mazibuko came all the way from Mpumalanga. So thanks for your time. Why did you feel like it is important for you to come here? Please look at me.
It is very important for us to come here for many reasons. To mention one reason. Reason number one is that we are here to commemorate with the Marikana 33 as per call of the president of the most vibrant and truthful union in South Africa, which is AMCU.
And I mean, why is it, tell me why this day for you, you would not miss it for anything?
Because one of the call of the president or the organization AMCU, it's our calendar date. So we have to come as the members of AMCU to support, to commemorate and to voice out what AMCU is all about.
When you think about that day, what goes through your mind?
What goes to our mind, it's painful, it's sorrowful, but we must commemorate it to voice out, especially to the government of the Republic of South Africa, because what happened should not happen if we had an effective and faithful, truthful government.
You came all the way from Mpumalanga, and I see that some of your colleagues have got are carrying a banner with Lily Mine. Tell me why.
It's simple because of the incident that happened on the 5th of February 2016. There were 3 colleagues of ours, namely Britin Kambulo, Solomon Nyirende, and Yuvonimnis. They were working at a ship container that sank because of the collapse of the mine, yes.
So why decide to come here? Why did you decide to come here?
To voice out our frustration as the ex-employees, to voice out our frustration, and then again to seek intervention, especially from the Department of Mineral Resources, because there's investors, the fund is there to retrieve the container, but we don't know. We've got more questions than answers.
You also seeking closure in that regard, right?
Especially the families. There must be closure. There must be closure. Those 3 colleagues of ours must be retrieved, must be brought back to the surface. They are still trapped underground for over 3.5 years now. But we don't know why we don't retrieve them.
Okay, Harry Mazibuko, thank you so much for your time, sir. Thank you so much. Okay, that's Harry Mazibuko Mpo. I can also see that there's another group of people that's also arriving to attend this commemoration event, and I'm sure we'll see a whole lot of them as the morning or as the day progresses. It's back to you.
Mulungelo, your guest raises a topic that one could easily forget. The Lily mine workers who are still trapped underground, families are still looking for closure. Interventions were made, but nothing came out of it.
It's incredible, Mpo. You know, they're using this tragedy where about 34 people, where 34 mine workers were killed by police, to highlight a plight about another tragedy. And as you've heard Mr. Mazibuko saying that those families too want closure. And of course, they're hoping that somebody will listen and assist those families in order to get the remains of those 3 workers that remain trapped underground for 3 years now, Mpho. And I remember rushing to the scene at the time, and there were about 78 mine workers who were involved in that incident. Fortunately, the majority of them, they were able to be brought up to the surface, but the 3 remained underground and their bodies are still there, and their families have long been calling for closure, and they're saying that without having buried those 3 mine workers, they can never really rest.
Thank you so much. Let's leave it there. Our reporter Mulungelo Booi out in Marikana. Of course, a really important and significant occasion there. South Africa marking the 7th anniversary of the worst tragedy, one of the worst before the country since post-apartheid. Of course,